Welcome to Esoteric-Truth Radio, and I'm your host, Trinity. Today, I want to cover, and it sounds like it's becoming repetitive at this point, that I constantly have to try to come in and explain basic information to certain people. And this isn't for everyone that's going to be listening to this, because in all actuality, you don't have to really tell many people that we live in an extremely corrupt society and that monsters are actually running it. Yes, the monsters that your parents warned you about as a child are now running the society that we live in. And it doesn't matter if you're a good person or a bad person. I don't know who's listening to this right now. Right now, you could be committing a crime. Right now, me stating this could be actually committing a crime. We live in a place right now where the amount of corruption is so overwhelming that many people don't know how to react. And they're lashing out because the onslaught of body cam videos, dash cams, cell phones, surveillance, all of this stuff is coming out and it's showing the people that they so trust. Same way that I feel about people that watch the voting process. But they so trust these people. More than half of the population of the United States can honestly say that there was a point in time when they needed the police to help them. I don't care if it's because you feel like somebody was robbing your home, or maybe you got mugged, or maybe you had police interaction because you did something wrong and you needed to be taken in custody and your freedom got taken away. Maybe you're the screw up. I don't know. What I do know is that the overwhelming evidence that is showing that corruption and racism exists, and the people that are turning a blind eye and just putting their fingers in their ears and going nah 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 nah, it's sickening. It's literally sickening to those who have to live through it. I want to say it surprises me, but it actually doesn't, because the most people that are making these claims are in certain types of categories. Everybody's in a particular category. Myself, and I'm more than cool with saying it. Myself, I feel like I have some type of a social responsibility, because right now I'm in a, I don't want to say in a circle, but I'm in a realm where I have one foot in with what I consider the intellectuals, or the people that are no longer conspiracy theorists but conspiracy realists, and the people that are, very on top of the inner workings of the screwed up system we live in. My other foot is in the projects, and with diversity and people that still hang out and people that still get high, and I still know some stripper friends, and I still have that life. I don't live in this imaginary world constantly. I know people with PhDs, and I also know people that are currently selling drugs. Either way, this is the way that the world works. The difference between myself and the people that are actually saying complete and utter bullshit on the internet don't have that. You're either in the PhD world or you're in the criminal element. When I feel like I have to say something, it's because I can truly say I understand both parts. I've needed to call the police in the past on more than one occasion. And I can tell you honestly, on more than one occasion, they did not fucking help. They didn't help. If anything, they made things worse because there've always been corruption. It's depending on your situation. If you never had to call the police or you lived in an area where crime was almost nil, then you know what? Congratulations. But you are the smallest of minorities in the United States. Where the largest populations are is where the crime is rampant. And I don't give a shit who you want to blame for crime. Okay? Crime, along with poverty, along with race, has been in existence since the very beginning of this nation. And that is not a lie. But to say that police brutality in any sense is excusable, you are a huge part of the problem. A huge part of the problem. And you need to start realizing that. It kills me. It literally kills me. Visiting all these places on the internet that I frequent, and I'm not I'm not visually there. They don't know that I'm there, and I'm just, bouncing from forum to forum, site to site, blog to blog, and I'm just reading. I'm reading. And a lot of these people I've known for a long time, or, in the internet world, and it kills me because I want to get up and I just want to scream and say, how is it that you can say that somebody has the right, someone who is literally trained, someone who gets paid, they get paid to stop crime and then commit crimes, that we think that it's okay. If you can't handle it, you leave. You don't like to be a person flipping burgers? Get another job. You don't like working at the Gap? Get another job. You don't want to work at Starbucks? Get another job. How is it that we can't say you're not a proper police officer to get another job? How is it that we do not, and I have not one time, and I'm talking about once, not one time, and all the people standing up, oh, they had every right to do that. He was probably scared. The guy started to run. He reached in his pocket, and even though it was a piece of gum, it could have been a knife. Do you understand that the police officer who killed Michael Brown stated, and this is openly available in his testimony to the grand jury, that he thought when he saw Michael Brown's face that he thought he was a demon. A demon. Not and the Hulk. Okay? Because the guy was bigger than him. That's not that's the mentality of a kindergarten kid and a person in college. And the kid feeling threatened by the much older kid. That I can see. Those are two people that are not trained to understand violence. These people are literally trained. These people have to go through training. These people supposedly, by the way, have to find a way to pass psychological tests. Now, I don't see any of those people, not one who was saying the cops, that was that situation. You don't know what really happened. Yeah, everybody knows what happened. As a matter of fact, it's being showed visually. We live in a world where they say, I can say right now there's an alien in my house, and you'll say, well, if there's no video, I didn't see it. Well, now we have video, we have audio, we have pictures, we have everything in the physical sense that a human being could make an informed decision, and we still have complete and utter nonsense coming out of people's mouths. And it just does it. And you can pick those people that are there on purpose. We all know the trolls are there. We know that there's people there to incite violence and to incite anger amongst people. But when you're in communities where you would think that would not happen and it's happening there, then I begin to lose hope. That's when things begin to turn ugly. And the way that right now I'm probably offending people that were standing up for cops, and I'm talking about all cops, not just this pool party incident, not just the Michael Brown incident. I'm talking about every person that said that there was some kind of an excuse that they had the right, or well, the law didn't find it. Yeah, that's part of the same system. That's part of the same system. What people fail to realize is that the reason why there are not so cops happening now, and I guess maybe the last 25, 30 years, as opposed to before, not to say that it wasn't happening, but they weren't literally doing what they're doing in mass today. They were more corrupt as the mafia back then. And what had happened was that cops began snitching on other cops, and people started leaving the force. People no longer trusted the police and did not want to work for them. So the police departments of the United States decided to lower the standards. The same way that at some point you couldn't have a criminal record, or you needed a high school diploma as opposed to a GED to get into the military. Those rules no longer apply and haven't applied for a very long time. I know quite a few people that got in with just GEDs and drug charges into the military. So we have to look at the system who's allowing it to happen. It wasn't so much when cops were just taking money and roughing up a couple of drug dealers and some pimps back in the 70s. But when people decided to start fleeing, then it became an issue. They needed people to police the streets. You can't have police stations if there aren't police officers. Okay? When they started letting women in, huge issue. You know what women started doing? Leaving. You know why? Because they were getting harassed and abused. You were black in the police station. You know what? You're a good cop. It doesn't matter. You're black and you shouldn't be there. What were they getting? What was getting done to them? They were being abused, so they left. It's not like there's been some kind of open door policy that regular people didn't understand. Every A handful of people that are having these conversations can honestly say they know a police officer. Knowing a police officer does not consist of you having a 911 conversation with someone on the line. That's not you knowing how the police work. If you got robbed and the police did a great job in your house and made you feel safe and helped you get a new lock on your door, that's not you knowing the police. Okay? Most people, especially in large cities, do not know a cop. And if they do, it's not in a good way. If you haven't looked into the basic reasons on why these criminal acts are constantly happening, and the only thing you have to say is that it's not their fault. Look at the situation. It had to be a reason. How come the video wasn't 3 hours long? Okay, this Texas incident, it was a party. Who the hell's supposed to be taking video of a what 3 4 hour party? Because apparently the party was going on for quite a long time, where people were getting tweets and coming to the party. Okay, and I'm seeing and I'm listening and I'm looking, and of course I did my fucking homework before I got here. It wasn't somebody's regular pool. This was not a pool in someone's home. This was a residential area pool, which was still public, not to the entire community adjacent to the pool. Those people pay to have that pool for their residential area. But what they're failing to tell you is that DJ and a lot of those people that were at that party and in that pool invited those kids to the pool. So you can't say that because I know somebody who lives in the pool, lives in the area. I don't live there, but my cousin lives there, and my cousin says, "Hey, you want to go jump in the pool?" And I say, "Sure, let's go to the pool." We go into the pool. That's not illegal. If they acted up, that's not illegal. If anything, there was a fight with the residents that were already there that prompted these actions. Yet we're still having a conversation about what happened before then, but not the actual video about the police. Did it seem like it was right? Absolutely not. You don't put your fucking hands on little kids. You don't do that. You just don't. And you don't expect a reaction. If everybody, for 1 second, could just close their eyes and picture their child at that age dressed in that way, and I don't give a shit what color skin you are, and somebody pulling you down on the ground with your knee on your back, if you could tell me that you would just be like, you know what, my kid uh, got that coming. My kid absolutely had that coming. Then fine. Kudos to you. You are in a whole different level of mentality that I seriously wouldn't even want to mess with. That to me is a form of crazy. I don't give a shit if you don't like that. I'm gonna say it. To me, that's a form of nuts to think that that's completely acceptable. Because while I watched that video, all I kept thinking was that kid screaming for her mama. That's all I needed to hear. Okay? Outside of the dragging, outside of the pulling, outside of the knee in the back, all I kept hearing was a child. Yes, I don't give a shit if she was wearing a thong and no top. She was 14 years old and she was getting thrown onto the ground in that way. That isn't right. There is no excuse. If anybody watched any of the videos, you could see this cop drop and roll. Where the hell do you see that? This is in a so-called very quiet, uh, upper class residential area. Nobody made a call about a weapon. Nobody made a call about, a severe violence. Nobody had a knife. Nobody had anything. What would cause, besides like a 4-year-old trying to be Batman, what would cause one adult male with the authority to murder you if he felt threatened to drop and roll like that? Absolutely nothing. You know what that's called? Crazy. That's called crazy. And by the way, just in case nobody knew this, he was the supervisor to every other police officer there. There was only one guy above him, and he was in another area. So now the people under him are watching him go bonkers. Because I thought to myself, how the hell is nobody? I see other cops. Nobody's saying anything. Nobody's doing anything. What? Why aren't the cops saying, hey, calm down, sit down, man, do something? I actually saw him slap a couple of the cops' hands away when they tried to, get him off the girl. But no. Then it made sense. Oh, he's their boss. But still, I bump into more people that is spreading information claiming that they think that this was something that needed to be done. Okay? Even suggesting that if those children didn't talk back, this wouldn't happen in the first place. We live in a world where we are not only are we not in control of our own lives, our society, our money, our property, and ourselves. Now we have totally lost our shit with the people that could take you in their car, take you down the street, shoot you in the head, throw you in a ditch, and claim you to be missing. Lose your file, boom. Or put something in your pocket, take you to the courthouse, make a claim that you did something wrong, and take you to jail for life. These are the same people who are dropping and rolling onto the ground in front of lots of people. This guy knew that camera was there. This wasn't one of these people where the cop is saying, "Hey, turn that off," and no, 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 no. He even did that little speech at the end when the kid was like, "I just got here. I was going to the pool." No, he did this whole little, PSA, like this was some after school special that he needed to explain to them that when I tell you to sit down, you sit down. It doesn't matter what you did or, the 80 other kids walking around. He actually said that the other guys got away. He saw them all running, but they made it across the street because apparently there's an invisible, this particular cop barrier where as long as you get past that line, it's like red light, green light, one, two, three. So those kids made it across. They did not. Now they paid the penalty. Who does that? Crazy people do that. In case you weren't actually letting that click into your brain real quick. Crazy people do that. If I have to keep at least playing in my own brain that there's no way that I live in a zombie world where now pictures and video, statements, court hearings, indictments, special investigations, the FBI involvement, district attorney, Supreme Court cases, and none of this can still get people to agree that we need some type of reform, then I don't know what else to do. Then we are completely hopeless. Then there is no coming back from this. There is no coming back from this. Okay, and I barely brought up the race card on this because believe me, the race card plays itself. If you have eyes and you know that there's two different colors throughout the entire video, I don't need to tell you if race played any part in it. That I don't even give a shit if you decide it for yourself. What? Because some black kids were there? I don't even give a shit about that anymore. The cop, what he did, the cops, what they continue to do, the fear, the amount of fear that is coming out and the anger that is brewing. And if you want to be pissed off about video, if you want to be pissed off about the media, you want to be pissed off about that, you're the people that are watching the fucking news. I didn't have to watch the news to get that information. I went to that particular police department and only heard statements and information from their local areas only. Even disinfo agents are all over the internet copying and pasting a story of a family so-called asking for help to stop spreading the video because people are vandalizing their cars and threatening them. And every single person was like, wow, how weird is that? Went and clicked on their Facebook pages, and not one person, and I mean not one, of the people that are spreading this copy and paste link claiming that there was something else going on and this is the media taking it out of hand. Not one of those people were from actual Texas. Not one. They were from everywhere else but here. Yes, and I say here because I live in Texas. Okay? Get it together. Get your head out of your ass. Learn to look and say, I'm fed up because of this. If we have more discussions and more people upset over a 65-year-old man not wanting his penis anymore, I think that we can have a civil conversation concerning this much evidence. I think we can take every single video and every single thing, including the movies that have been based on true stories, including this one's called Fruitvale Station. I saw that a while ago. Where I think he was 20-year-old kid gets off of the train. The cops pull him off of a train, lay him on his back, handcuff him, and then shoot him in the back while he's handcuffed face down on the ground. And somebody recorded that, and the cops didn't know it. So race plays a part, community plays a part, economy plays a part, military, police, state plays a part, training police officers. And because you need them, you let their crazy shit slide. These people don't turn crazy in those seconds. These people are crazy and have been crazy and just happen to have gotten busted being crazy on video. Okay? Because we've all had some kind of crazy moment. But you know what? We're not all the police. Okay? Judges have it, lawyers have it, politicians have it, everybody has it. But the police have the authority to do certain things to you right at that very moment, including taking your life. And if we don't set a higher standard for them, not even for them, and we can pick up the phone and call them and they can come to your house. And at this point in the world we live in, if you call the cops today, you have no clue if you get out alive. Are you kidding me? Is it really to that point where we have to have these conversations? Where if somebody was breaking into my house right now, I better hope that I get to that person before that person gets to me because I'm not going to dial 911. What if the cops come in and they don't know it's me? I mean, it's literally this thing where we're expecting all police officers to be terrified. And if they're scared now, they have every fucking right to be. And it's because all of these things are coming out. And I feel bad for, oh my God, I feel bad for the good cops. I feel bad for them because they probably do outnumber the bad ones. And I say probably because you know what? I'm not 100% sure. Even if there's one out of every 100 cops and he's good, I feel bad, worse for him or her than anybody else. The way that that one cop and a corrupt bunch of cops feels is how I constantly feel when I see people that I genuinely care about, not just them on a personal level, but them on an intellectual level. And I see them literally putting themselves in the toilet and then turning themselves around to flush it themselves. Kills me. It kills me. And I know that I'm not the only one going through it. And I'm not, oh, I don't care in the least how many people are going to be pissed off by this. But if we don't start straightening it out, if you really want to know what's going on, people, ask the opposite of you. Okay? If you live in a place that's populated with 5 people and you're giving your opinion about the police, talk to somebody who lives somewhere where there's 10 people or 100 people or millions of people. Okay? If you're over a certain age and you don't know what the youngings are doing, damn, go ask one. Get off of the places that make you all nice and snuggly and go to some sites where you see how life really is. Shit, you can even go watch Frontline. You can watch Frontline, you can watch PBS. There's wonderful stations out there that are actually exposing all of this corruption. Too many places for you to go, too many venues and areas and sites and blogs and just regular people that are speaking out for you to have decided to permanently close your eyes. Okay? And the little peeking, well, like, I mean, it could have been, yeah, that's peeking. No, open your fucking eyes. Just open your eyes and say, I'm just going to try to see it from another point of view. What would I do if I was that parent? What would I do if I lived there? Find any scenario in the last shit, the last week. Find any scenario that you can put yourself in the other person's shoes. So if it's a male being harassed, you know, picture yourself as the male. If it's a female, picture yourself as the female. Either way, okay? You want to hear about something gross that happened to a female if the females here are listening? The lady who got pulled over for a traffic ticket, the cop thought she was smoking weed in her car, pulled her over, and you can look this up because there's no way I would link this. Uh, and the video's out there, by the way. And it's a dash cam video. Cops pull her over, her and her friend, accuse her of smoking weed in the car. The windows were rolled up. She gets out of the car. They find no drugs or anything. They take her to their cop car in the back seat and anally and vaginally probe her, looking for drugs. And this is a male officer against a female. Okay? Oh, and if you're curious, yes, she was black. So, white cases, black cases, Hispanic, every single group. This isn't just that one issue. It's the one issue that the media is making sure they report constantly. But it is not just a one sided issue. Okay? In lots of other places, people aren't getting murdered like this. The amount of people that are murdered here since January of this year in some countries haven't murdered that many people. Their police haven't killed that many people in 50 years. But, we're the greatest place ever, you know. So that doesn't necessarily count. Wake up. It's not that hard to do. Yes, it's going to be scary. Yeah, you're going to see some shit. It's not going to be great. It's not going to be fun. It's not, this is not fear mongering. This isn't apocalyptic. This isn't anything like that. This is you saying certain things have to stop. And if I can say certain things about certain people, then I can hold a higher standard for the people that I pay my taxes to help protect everyone equally. We don't just protect who the hell we want. The same way that most of you don't want to pay into food stamps. And then I proved to everybody, I gave everybody the site and said, here, just punch in how much you made and what state you're in. And all the people that did it, they all realized they paid 50 cents or $1 towards food stamps, 10 to 20 cents for urban development, 300, $400 for military though. Huh? A lot of money for the cops to get those tanks and to get all this, their new machine guns. Yeah, yeah. By the way, Before I end this, because I have to end this, when shit hits the fan, the people that are right now making this stand and saying that this was a necessary evil, do you think you're going to be protected? Keep that in mind. Do you honestly think you will be protected? Do you think that when they come to your home, do you think that if we had martial law here and you were like, no, 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 remember when you guys killed a whole bunch of people? Well, on the internet, what I did was stick up for you. And I told a whole bunch of people that you guys are really the good guys. So, let me and my family go. You think they're gonna be like, oh, yeah, thanks. You think you're gonna get a high five? Huh? You think you're gonna get a nice little police car ride to a nice safe place and they're gonna take all the minions? No, you're going to. Okay? It's time for everybody to wake up, whether you like it or not. This was a frustrating one, and I know you guys are going to be pissed, but it has to be said. We have to wake up to how it's going. We have to remember that we're all a collective when it comes down to the law, and to law enforcement officers. We are all the same in the end. May not be now, where you're living in your nice area and a lot of shit's not going on over there because you think there aren't enough black people yet. Yeah. When it starts going down, don't think you're exempt. You don't have an exemption card. You standing up for corruption does not get you a get out of jail free card or your kids or your family. It doesn't work that way. The more we let this happen is the way you're giving a generational card to your grandchildren or your future generations of family members to be murdered automatically and it be completely okay. And you know why? Because you're accepting it as the norm. You're part of the compliance of live action murder and abuse, because that's what it's turned into. All of these videos literally have turned into reality TV, and you're still thinking this is possibly scripted. This isn't scripted. This isn't on MTV. This isn't on Bravo. This is real life shit. The people getting hurt and getting killed are real life people, and there are real live people committing it. You are more than welcome, and I'm serious, more than welcome, to leave your thoughts or your comments on my YouTube page. I am more than happy to have this discussion with you. And as in a civil manner as possible. Uh, Thank you for listening. I am your host, Trinity, and this is Esoteric Truth Radio.